is it natural for those who lose intimate relations, such as in a case of a sibling relationship, to go down and stay down and not be able to get back up from such a loss?
Yeah, especially in the case where there's twins, right? When there's twins, it's like the same thing happening to all parties, whether it's, 2, 3, 4, whatever. The experience ripples through the other being in the same way, and that can happen without the advantage or the karma of twin energy. It can happen when you have the right heart resonance. And a person is close to you and their heart, as the light goes out, it goes out for you. Right? So death is something that multiplies itself. And it keeps with Zohar permeating. It keeps going. And then we have to come to our senses before that takes us out through depression. It will take us down. It can take you out. We can say there's a dark force that wants to take you out, that wants to use you that way. And that it can enslave you once it takes you out. And so it's our responsibility as spirits engaged in the life force to recover from grief and get back on the path of, let's say, wisdom and happiness and balance and harmony, and try to recover some joy for the rest of our life, because the gone are gone. But they can still influence us, they can still pull us back and pull us down. But then there are others who can pull us up. So we need to know that we're here to be pulled up, and certainly not just down, but we need to be around those who we know can pull us up. And that's their purpose, to pull us up. Sometimes that's a religious function for peeps. Sometimes it's a family function to be able to lift those who are weaker at the heart level emotionally, who are easily victimized by these heavy blows of fate and circumstance and these terrible breaks in the heart, see, this way. And some families, as they say, as my mother would say, God bless them, that is to say, may the spirits heal them, experience ridiculously crazy tragedy in succession, see, like to no end. See? And this is their payment. See? So for those of you who do not have that kind of karma, be grateful that you have a lighter cross to bear, in a manner of speaking, and that you have time. You're not suffering as others suffer tragically, very heavily and depressively. The losses that their family karma incurred, and they have to live with, and they have to put that behind them, and they have to be, let's say, warriors of, let's say, the positive. They have to be there to give life and sustenance to the rest of the family and live as an example, yes, of compassion and reflection, and knowing that, yes, we all suffer these losses, but we have to move on. We have a life ahead of us. They are young ones that we have to lead. And so we have to do that. We have to stand up and lead others. Say, yes, we have to get through tragedy. Tragedy is a step on the path. Death is a step on the path. Birth is a step on the path. Loss is a step on the path. But not everybody has the strength to do that. So it takes others to help them. Help them. Get through these hardships and these unimaginably devastating situations. It's very tough for some, especially in the battle regions of the planet. Right? When the mother comes home and she finds all her kids blown to smithereens, she just walked out for a minute and the place is shelled. And what does she do? Who does she turn to? See, so this is mind-blowing. See, this is intense. But this is a human destiny. See? So we who are here in this lull between wars in this country, we should be very grateful and be very caring and make it as good for everybody else as possible. That's my advice, because we have the time to do it now. We have the circumstance. See, to be better neighbors, to be more loving, more kind, and they're more productive at this time, as long as time allows us, see? Because everything is on a leash. See? We are on a leash of time, please.
What do you do in a case like that where someone has lost everybody they love and they have no one else to turn to? Is there anything that they can do to prepare themselves for such a loss if they know ahead of time?
Well, we have to know from the get-go, from childhood. People are here one moment, people are gone. People are here to die. You know, not in a morbid sense, but in a scientific sense. That, well, we live so that we pass. See? We're here for a moment to do a work, to serve one another, to love one another, to help one another, and then we pass on. We have the right. We're born with the right to pass on. So it's lawful to pass on, and we have to teach that to the young ones, the babies, that is what is going on here. Your cats are going to pass on. Your pets are going to pass on. Your family is going to pass on. You are going to pass on. See? In the wisdom schools, they call it the fact of impermanence. We're here for a moment. We're on a leash and on a lease at the same time. We're tethered to the earth, and yet we're on a time, see, limit. We're at a limit. See, some say so many heartbeats, so many breaths, so many brain waves. See? And then we're gone. We're out of here. So while we are here, we want to capitalize, so to speak, on the wisdom side of this and say, yes, we are here to undergo all kinds of pressures and strains, and rise from that. Withstand all kinds of disasters and blows, and rise from that, see? All kinds of horrors, but we have to rise from that. We have to see it properly, see? See? That's nature. See? And change. And use some sense of intelligence. It gives us, got to move on. Quality of business. See? From then on. From there on in. See? And encourage others the same way. We got more to do yet. See? We have a life to live. We have more to do. See? And not to give up on that. See? You can't prepare them for it, but you can help them get through it. You can talk about it all the time, but you can't prepare a mother for the death of a child, or a child for the death of the mother. There's no preparation for it that makes the difference. You can tell them, you can warn them, but then they know it's going to happen, but when it happens, it's the end, see, momentarily. It's an unbearable stillness that overwhelms you in that moment. See, it devastates you. See, it's a day you dreaded experiencing. And those of us who are old, we know it's happened many times, many, innumerable times to us. See, but it doesn't take the sting away from it, in any case, to any degree. See, so we must be strong with a deep understanding that we're all here to go, see, and be noble about it. See, but it's going to be hard. But you got to move beyond it and be strong. So you got to know your strength and get ready to muster some strength up to pull you through the times. Because you got more to do here, you got more debts to pay, more pleasures and experiences and positive things to let's say, enjoy. Okay? So there's still life. As long as there's still life, you got to give it all its worth.
Is everybody made the same in their response to tragedy?
Well, I think the potential is there, but there are many who are here, maybe too many, that are here to be done in by tragedy. Okay? And there's nothing we can do for those that are destined to go that way, dying of depression. See? Now, you can give them medications, you can give them encouragement, but some of them know that they are not supposed to be here when certain people pass over. When certain animals pass over, they want to pass over with their friends. See? For some people, that's their cue to leave this plane, and they go out whatever way they can, say, through depression or whatever way they can. See? They don't want to live. They lose their will to live. See? And a broken heart is a sure way to pass over. You can die from that. See? It can take you out. Yes, definitely. Right. For many it does happen. So the idea is to be strong. So you don't want to die of a broken heart. You want to keep living. You want to bring joy to other peeps. So then there's a positive view here. So I can possibly undo that and reverse that particular tendency and program. But we have to have that kind of, let's say, knowing that that's what we're capable of, and that's the right thing for us to do. So go on. Use that loss as a strength, as a gain, to make us stronger. So we're here longer.
From chapter 101, you write, many are those who appear to be in karmic situations which they are ill-suited for or apparently more worthy of or even above testing in. But what does not usually occur to these spirit souls is that despite of or in the midst of their specific trials, they have in their power the ability to reach others and touch them with their earned merits, virtues, or wisdom. Are you saying that in some cases when someone is faced with a certain karmic situation, it might not be a lesson for their own spiritual benefit or progression, but is for the benefit of those around them?
Always, yes. Yep. Everything is for the benefit of everyone. See? So when one passes, a little bit passes with us. But as one comes in, a little bit of us comes in with whatever's coming in. With a new life, new birth, there's this renewal. See? There's this light, more light coming in. More to live for. Okay. And this is the paradox, see? The life-death seesaw. See? The beginning and the ending dynamic of this existence. See? And not knowing all the time where you came from before or where you're going afterwards. But you have a sense about you that you know you're not going to die and that this is part of a continuum. And so that could be very comforting to some and very not discomforting for others. They don't want to have to come back. They like it the way it is now, but you're on a lease without choice because you made the choice to come in. That means you made the choice to go out. Nothing can be done about that. Just is that way.
From chapter 101, you go on to write, be not foolish enough to love where it is received as unwanted. Share love and appreciation where it is mutually conducted. How does the Master love those who are not open to receiving that love or who do not want love?
Well, the Master, if there is such a thing, at the heart being, and we're talking about those who are here to live a code of compassionate grace and mercy to all beings, regardless of dimension of being or species of being, then that's their purpose. That's their purpose, that's their practice. Whether people receive it or not is another question. It goes out like the sun. It's not asking who receives it. It doesn't care, obviously. So it's the same with the heart chakra. It just goes out in all directions. And we have to be okay with that. So you're radiating love and light and life and presence, to all beings. See? But you're not doing it consciously when you're withdrawn and self-introverted and, let's say, self-absorbed in a manner of speaking, inhibited. So we want to get to that point where our heart goes out to all beings, see? Where we feel the expanse of that, and feel the goodness of that, and the properness of that, the appropriate naturalness of that. See? And without any regard for what comes back, as far as that goes. The most important critical thing is that you put it out there, and you're being that. See? In other words, you're living at your channeling potential. See? And that's the most important thing, is outflow. The Master's on the outflow. The Master's on the receive. Is not as much on the receive flow. It receives stuff, but that's not where it's at. See? It can hear things, it can feel things, it can influx some things, but it's really mastery at the outflow. See? Mastery is outflow. See? Givingness.
From chapter 102, you write, all spirit souls have this intuition of reality and fatality. Consciousness being potentially freer and clearer on the subtle planes of awareness above time and space, as these are dependent upon the mind of the perceiving spirit soul, knows it's fatal or fateful moment without any effort at all on the part of its veil or ego. Are you saying that on some level we all know when we're going to die?
Not all, but we can know. On some level it is given. It is given because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. That means there's a logic. For something to happen, there's a lead up. And we all have access to the lead up, but we don't, not all of us want the lead up to the knowledge, to knowing. A lot of us have a certain attitude, we don't want to know, just take us out, that's it. We don't want to know about it because we might do something about it if we know about it. Say, you want to live until you die, so to speak. But then there's that other side, the more psychic and spiritual side, where you're okay with what it is, you know you're going to pass, and you're going to take advantage of that. Yeah? And some can know, some should want to know. And that's an attitude program by itself. That each individual as a heart relative should be open to knowing when they're going to go, when others are going to go. So you want to give spirit like the permission. Say, yeah, I'm open to that. Let me know if you can, if I deserve it. If I'm open enough, yeah, let me know what I need to know about these things.
Why would, why would one want to know, or why should one know when they're going to die? Like what?
Some want to know. Some want to know when their relative's going to die. Some want to know when someone closer to them is going to die. And they can know. And some will know even if they don't want to know. And then when it happens, they see how it was being revealed to them in certain ways. They say, wow, this happened, but then they were able to go back in time. They can go back in time and say, wow, this is the lead up. This makes sense. But they didn't see it because everything happens out of a logic, a progression. It can't just happen out of reality. It's happening in reality. It's an unfoldment. Like they say with accidents. No, accidents are progressions. They don't just happen. They're progressions. There's a starting point. Just back the picture up. Put it in reverse. Put the movie in reverse and you see it. In your mind. Go down the time track and start seeing how things are coming together, where this thing is being put together but nobody's paying attention to it. Nobody's watching the health, nobody's watching this, nobody's watching that. The mind, they're not watching the mind, so they don't see where it's going. Spiritual practice is about being open to seeing where things are going, because you want to understand how things are being created, so that you participate in the positive recreation of whatever it is, instead of being created by everybody else's unconscious creation.
From chapter 102, you write, atheism, or the attitude or conviction that there is no God, is a childish negative attitude or belief system which is karmic or conditional and inevitably bound to change at death, if not sooner. Are atheists further behind the path to enlightenment and or spiritual progression than those who practice other religions?
No, they may be closer to the reality. Like a lot of atheists are into Buddhist practice, see, and other higher forms of practice, because it's about experience, it's not about belief. See? It's about facts, not about presumptions. It's not about faith, it's about knowing. See? Just knowing into. And so they don't have to believe in a certain type of God, they believe in themselves, they believe in life. See? Which is the same thing. God is life, isn't that? God is not life. So anything you believe in or disbelieve in is really pointing to the same thing, and so it's like, who cares? The most important thing while you're a human being is that you do good works. And you have people who believe in God and trying to enlighten themselves, and now there's humongous ego trips about it. You have a person who doesn't believe in any kind of God or anything, but is a charitable, generous, gracious, majestic person, right? Doesn't believe in anything. Like natives don't particularly have to believe in God, they believe in the Great Spirit. But that's not the same as God. They don't fear the Great Spirit. A lot of people fear God. See? So we're talking about God as wrath is something to fear, and not too many people are willing to believe that, because that's really talking about the God of nature in terms of time. See? And yet, there's another level of reality that we can see as part of the wholeness and the oneness and the totality of the universe, and we say, well, that is God. See? The isness of the universe could be considered the divine itself. See, the Lord of the universe. It's just the isness, the infinite isness. I mean, you can't say anything about it. It's like mysterious. The infinite means gone. Zero. Nothing. Nothing to talk about when you say infinite. Yeah. It means already inexplicable, incomprehensible, and don't even try and wrap your mind around it, because you can't. See? Even the greatest minds can't wrap their minds around that, see, which is the source of all minds. Yeah. The source of all thought. Source of all reality. It's a... Oh, good. Thank you.